Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack. My name is Donnie Reese, and I am the host of PSVG's weekly Nintendo podcast. This is episode 81, and tonight we're going to cover everything in that Mario Maker Nintendo Direct, and as well as what Nintendo could be up to at E3. This is our E3 preview show. Joining me tonight in the Shack, as she does most weeks, is my Nintendist Caroline. How are you?
What's up? I'm doing well. We will introduce our guest, our honorary bro, Jared. Highly intelligent is here.
Hello. It's good to be in the place that I belong with a name like I have.
He's making a play for Jason's spot. He told me. He's like, there's a Triforce thing going on.
Their name's supposed to start with Judd.
I'm just saying,
letters.
It's a good fit. It's a good fit.
Jason's a lot better at Smash than I am, though.
Like that qualifies as anything.
If we have to fight over it with Smash, I'm not going to make it.
What's your game of choice? What's your multiplayer game that you could beat Jason at? He's really good at games.
Triforce Heroes.
How about Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter.
Okay, we need to play. I'm about to get into World this summer, so.
Caroline, would you do the honors of thanking our patron of the week?
I would do the honors. Well, thank you to all of our patrons, first of all, not just our single patron. But this week is going out to our boy, Kevin Austin. Ooh. He's having a hard time with some stuff right now. He's lost a very sweet friend, so he needs some love. So this haiku is for you. Oh, hey, Kevin A. Hope you have an awesome day. Come back to Shack, K.
Nice. I like that one. I like that one a lot. It's good. That's real good. As mentioned at the top of the show, we're not going to talk about what we've been playing this week. All right? We don't have time for that. So come back next week when we welcome back a special guest. So stay tuned.
Welcome back.
All right. So Nintendo's E3 is June 8th. Starts June 8th, where we have the Splatoon 2 and the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World Championships and the Mario Maker 2 Invitational, which is announced today in the Mario Maker Direct. Mm-hmm. So that's how they're kicking off. So we're about, 26 days away? 27, something like that? We're under a month.
Just a few weeks.
Yeah, just a few weeks away from E3. So I want to kick off the show with a I'd say an easy one. Let's tee one up here. Do you think we will see a Smash tease or an unveiling at the World Championships?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh. Do you think you know who it is?
No, Of course not. I have a lot of people that I would like to think it would be, but I think it will definitely. I think the World Championships is a hype moment for people to be watching, and it'll be a good time for them to drop it then.
What about you, Jared?
Yeah, I think that'd be a great time. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it was like a shadow drop during the World Championships, and then maybe even a second one announced during the Direct.
Maybe he's calling for two. He's like, let's get on with it. Let's make it happen. I've been inclined to agree with you. I think they won't have as many eyes on that, but I don't think that matters because that community will reverberate and the word will spread. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they had like a tease and then an unveiling during the Direct, but I like the idea of them unveiling it during the Smash Championship just to save room in the Direct.
Save room. That was my point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
The big Direct will be happening, of course, on Tuesday, June 11th at 9 a.m. Jared time and noon regular actual people time. Treehouse they'll live stream as they do right after the Direct for 3 days. And Nintendo has stated that the Direct will focus entirely on software launching in 2019. Do we believe Nintendo? Do you believe Nintendo, Jared? Are we going to see nothing but games coming out this year?
There could be one surprise. They usually always do. I don't usually believe them. Even when they say, "Oh, hey, we're focusing mostly on this," there's sometimes surprises snuck in there.
The Prez said no hardware, completely software. Do you believe him, Carol?
I believe them, but that leads a problem with a lot of things that I was hoping was coming for 2019. It might not be 2019, but like a Bayonetta 3, I seriously doubt at this point in time that we would get it at the end of this year anyway, but that means we're not going to see it if that's the case. That's fine. I mean, if that's the case, they're sticking to their guns. The Animal Crossing is getting released in 2019, which is phenomenal. That's all I care about. And, you know, there's obviously Pokemon. I think that Pokemon Center or the Pokemon Company will do their own thing a little bit before E3 and not at E3. Luigi's Mansion. So it solidifies things that I think will definitely be coming and that I hoped wouldn't get pushed to 2020, which is a good thing.
I just wanted to say that on the official Nintendo website, it says the presentation focuses entirely on software. So obviously no hardware.
Right.
And then it just says we'll offer a look at games scheduled to launch in 2019. It doesn't say only 2019.
Ooh.
Whereas focuses entirely on software is a lot more definitive.
Yes.
The 2019 thing kind of leaves room for maybe one or two surprises.
That's fine. Then that leaves room for my girl Bayo.
Kind of a segue, but not really. But before we get into today's direct, because we got a deluge of information from Super Mario Maker 2. All right, so we got Mario Maker news today. Caroline just mentioned we may get Pokemon news before, after, not including the direct. We think we may get Smash news outside of the direct. Like, all of this is kind of leaking out in advance and around, you know, trying to make room. So, like, do you really think the Pokemon won't be at the eShop? Do you think, and more importantly, as we move on to Super Mario Maker, do you think Mario Maker won't be in the E3 direct? Like, today was its time and they're going to move past it?
Yeah, there's no need. I think this is why they did that, because there's no need for them to spend part of their hour, however long their thing is going to be, 45 minutes, talking about something, and they did what they needed to do today with that direct. But I say that about Pokemon because I believe that's been the trending thing that they do every year. Last year they did it, and we got Pokemon Quest and the Pokemon Let's Go announcements right before E3. So,
do you agree, Jared?
I want to agree because it just leaves more time open for other stuff, but it's only going to be like what, two weeks before the game launches. So to throw in another 2 or 3 minute trailer just to keep that advertising going, I don't see why they wouldn't do it. I mean, they could always release a trailer later, or maybe do some stuff during Treehouse, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of eyes on the direct. So just another 2 minute trailer just to solidify, like, hey, this comes out in a couple weeks, pre-order right now. I could see that happening. I don't want it to, because I think most people who are going to buy it are already sold, and I'd like to leave room for other stuff, but yeah, I think it's likely that it'll show up just from a marketing standpoint.
Okay. Well, as previously mentioned, we got a direct today. 15 minutes, all Super Mario Maker 2, and they talked about local co-op building. You're going to be able to build courses together, which is a first for the series. Course IDs confirmed. We're still going to be sharing those little ID codes and friend code type things. They talked about slopes, and they showed you how you can change different pitches. The Angry Sun is here. Snake Block is here. The Claw is here. Switches are here. You can turn them on and off. You can turn off blocks. You can make them go and not go. Nintendo Switch Online is required to share levels. They showed us a new desert, snow, forest, and sky themes.
Awesome.
With new Koji Kondo music.
Awesome.
And water levels that you can flood at different points in the level and at different heights in the course.
And lava, not just the water.
So I wanted to ask, is it just the forest theme? Is it just the Super Mario World theme? Because I believe every shot that they showed that it was just Super Mario World stuff that you could do that with. I didn't see it on any of the others.
I would be surprised if they limited it just to that kind of stuff.
There are a few things that are limited to, like a lot of the 3D land stuff is just Mario 3D World stuff.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. But, man, I was kind of hoping that it would go through all 4.
Either way, I mean, that's some cool different stuff.
That's impressive.
You can custom scroll the options, and you can pan in different directions throughout the course. So you can have, your auto running levels or the background moving behind you. You can make them go up, down. You have vertical sub areas. Man, there's a lot of stuff that bonsai ball, directional controls, dry bones, 10, 30, 50 coins, the twister, the parachutes, red Yoshi, boom boom, new sound effects, which personally was my highlight of the making stuff, which I really liked. Conditional passes. So collect all the coins, collect all the red coins, defeat all the enemies, that type of stuff you can program into the levels. Story mode, featuring more than 100 courses developed by Nintendo that will have you clearing objectives and talking to different characters along the way, building new courses, and I'm sure they'll have like little building mechanics that you have to do as you complete them, which is nice, kind of like a more fully fledged out, 100 Mario Challenge type deal, it sounds like. So
rebuilding your castle as well.
Yes.
That's part of the story mode. I got some Mario Golf vibes.
Ooh.
Did you? Like just being
I'm
able
not
to
gonna lie to you.
explore the castle and stuff?
I saw like the stuff in the background and kind of like how you're on a path, and I got like Mitomo vibes. Like slightly.
I can
was
see that
like
too.
that was interesting. It's interesting you got Mario Golf vibes. That's not bad.
Just from being able to go into the castle and explore like different areas. That's
We mentioned that the sun comes back. A new addition is the moon. So you can now trigger the angry sun into the moon, and when you click the moon, it destroys all the enemies on screen. The cool thing about the moon is it changes all the themes that you put in it. So some nights become starry, or it might flood, or it might cause a desert storm. Like every level reacts differently to nighttime mode, which is pretty cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine all of the combinations now that people the combos were sick to begin with, but this just throws a whole new wrench.
Hold that thought. So 3D World has Cat Mario, which we already know, the Warp Box, the Switch, the Exclamation Box, the Blinking Box, the Piranha Creeper, the Charvar, the Koopa Troopa car. They did show some sharing a little bit in addition to the course IDs. You've got tags now. It doesn't look like you'll be able to create your own, although I'm sure as trends will come through, they might add more to it. Difficulty options, a comment system, a ranking system, an upvote system. New to the series, a maker profile, where you can customize your own Mario Maker type thing. You can be upvoted, and your courses, which make your stuff show up more often. You can also earn things by beating other courses. They have leaderboards and rankings. Speaking of beating other courses, online multiplayer confirmed for Super Mario Maker 2. Up to 4 players, where you can all race through a level together. This has got to be like the highlight of the show and kind of the new feature for most people. I know we, talking about it in Discord, psvg.blog/Discord, we were having quite a bit of fun. This will definitely be a drunk night stream for sure, if not multiple. And it looked awesome. I was quite fond and a proponent of Runbow. And I immediately got Rumbo vibes. This is so much Rumbo, just that chaos, 4 players on a screen racing to a goal. And I'm sure the troll levels with hidden doors and stuff that can come out of something like this adds a new thing to this game that it never had before that I'm really excited about. Other notable things that we saw a bundle announced. 1 year of Nintendo Switch Online. You don't get a discount. It's just $10 more for $70. Nintendo announced Nintendo Switch Online vouchers, which isn't a Mario Maker thing. This is just a new thing, which is pretty cool. So you go to the website, you sign up, you buy 2 vouchers. You have to buy them, like 2 coupons. They're $100, $99. That lets you can redeem them for full download, digital download of basically any first-party Nintendo game. And they're all in there right now. You can go to it right now. So you're getting 20% off. You're getting a game for $50 instead of $60. So that's pretty cool. And as we've talked about for a long time, the Gamers Club Unlocked is going away soon for most people. And the Amazon rewards have already went away. And GameStop isn't offering some sort of rebate or reward discount. So this is the best way to buy day one launch games if you're thinking about it in the future. You got to buy 2 at once, but you're still saving money.
Yeah.
And then they announced the Mario Maker Invitational. So, Caroline, you already kind of alluded to it. Like the crazy combinations and things you're going to do, I would argue maybe too much. Like There might be too many things here.
Well, that's what I was saying. They're not leaving any room for them to improve or add new things to future installments.
Well, there's
at
one
all.
thing. There's one thing, but I mean, it's just there's so much here. I question whether anybody can actually. I mean, I know they will. I know there will be people out there that make amazing things that blow our minds, but I'm worried about the layman, the regular Mario Maker player. Like, what are they going to do with all these options besides probably make levels that we don't really want to play?
Right.
What do you think, Jared?
You know.
Yeah, I never actually played the first game.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
This one looks interesting. The creation aspect really appeals to me, like as something that I would like to do. The only problem is I have limited time when it comes to playing games, and I would rather play a game rather than make stuff for other people to play. But the story mode interests me. I'd like to play those Nintendo crafted levels.
Sure.
But I mean, even just the multiplayer alone. Did they say that it was online only multiplayer, or could you do?
You can
No,
play
there's
local
local
co-op,
too.
but you have to have multiple switches.
Yeah.
You can't play together on one. I don't think.
They had a thing where it said only one person is required to have connection to the internet, and then everybody else can share off of that.
They at least made the
removal.
mention that if you have 4 switches, you can play together. But maybe you can play on one switch, but I don't think they went that far. Or I don't remember.
If it's one Switch, I'd be interested in just because we invite people over all the time and play multiplayer games. So I'd be interested in that. But yeah, other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say. Everything looks cool and interesting, and if I buy it, I'll certainly mess around with it. What I think would be really cool is if they did. Have you guys ever played Ultimate Chicken Horse?
No.
What?
You never played that game?
No.
Okay.
No. Sounds like one of those like bad pool things that like a child could drown from playing the game.
Wow, that got dark.
There's a game. It's on Switch. It's on other platforms too, but I have it on Switch. It's called Ultimate Chicken Horse, and basically 4 people can play. And you start off, and it's just like a one screen or slightly scrolling level, and then each round, there's like a box of stuff that people have to grab, and you put it in the level. And so your goal is to try to make it easy for you to get to the end of the level, but make it difficult for everyone else. And each round resets, but everything you've placed stays, so you keep adding more and more to the level, and it just gets really crazy and hectic.
Chaotic, yeah.
So I'd like to see something like that with Mario Maker, where the building and the creation part of it gets put into the co-op, or not even co-op, but just competitive multiplayer, where you have like 15 seconds to place blocks, or you have a minute and you can only place 5 blocks or something like that, and you just try to make it more difficult for other people but make it easier for yourself. I think that'd be really interesting.
Okay. Sounds like it could be a cool mode. Yeah.
One thing that was in there, if you didn't catch it, when they were swapping styles, is there was an additional style templates or whatnot. Like the 3D world style was separated from the regular ones that were in Mario Maker 1, and there looked to be missing space. So it looks like we may have DLC confirmed or additional content coming that we don't know about yet. So if Mario Maker makes its way into the Direct, maybe that would be it. I've already went on Twitter and said that everybody's calling for Mario 2, Mario 3D Land. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be a 2D inspired Mario Odyssey pack where you can use the hat mechanic.
That would be cool.
Because I think
I'm not
they're
gonna
really
lie,
big on
that would be cool.
So
I was personally looking for Super Mario 2, but we'll see.
So yeah, if it makes its way into E3 with a trailer or something, maybe they announce a new style pack. Maybe they announce DLC.
DLC, I think, would be the way to go.
Add-on packs. So all right. So this was in a long list of games that we expect to be in the Direct, or possibly to be in the Direct at E3. But before we leave this, I just want to ask everybody what they thought about the game, how their interest is, and I just want to go ahead and say, because I was whining in the Discord about it, apparently I'm the only person that cares, at least in our Discord. There are people on the internet that agree with me. There have been 0 mentions of amiibo costumes for Super Mario Maker 2.
It bothers me too. Dude, it was trending on Twitter. Amiibo was trending on Twitter, and I thought I lost something.
It's not
I thought I missed it.
on the promotional side. It's not on the website. It's not on the store page. It's not listed as functionality. And every game that has amiibo functionality on Switch has the icon on the box, and it's not on the box. It doesn't look like the amiibo costumes are going to be included in Super Mario Maker 2.
Which sucks.
Just like they weren't included in Mario Maker 3D, or the one on the 3DS. They were just on Mario Maker Wii U. Now, for those of you that didn't play it, like Jared, in the first Mario Maker, you could use your amiibo to unlock sprites and skins for the Mario. You get the mystery mushroom, and you get the mushroom and you turn into an Inkling, or Link, or Star Fox, or Falco, all of these different stuff. And I thought the creativity of the community that put into those franchises in Mario Maker was astonishing. So they would use the NES 8-bit Mario style, because it was the only one it was available for.
Only one.
They would use those assets, and then they would build courses using those assets that were themed around those other games. So we saw like dungeon crawling, get the key to unlock the door, Zelda things. We saw Pokemon things, all these different
My favorite
sinners.
was the Nintendo one that they came out with pick your starter. It was Squirtle, Charmander, or a Bulbasaur, and then you went on and finished the level.
It felt like every new game that came out on Wii U got some sort of Mario Maker like influence stage, or 10 of those stages that you could play. They made little noises, you know, like the Pokemon noise would come through, or Link would do da-na-na-na, and it was just really cool. And I thought it separated Mario Maker from just being just a Mario game. You know, I know it's called Mario Maker, but it made it special. And I think I'm going to miss that effect. This entire time I've been hoping that they would go further down that path, that they would apply the styles and the skins to all of the other styles. And now it looks like they just won't have it at all. And I know it's stupid. I know it's just cosmetic. I know it doesn't change the game, and I know the game isn't centered on that. I got to tell you, I'm a little on the fence. I think I'm still going to get it just because I have GCU, but I'm slightly concerned that it's something that my family, and especially my kids, I think every level that Jack designed was built around an amiibo. You know, like he was doing the Pokemon levels, he's doing the Link level. I just wonder how much they'll stick with it if it's just Mario. And there's nothing that is wrong with Mario. I love 2D Mario, but like that was a big part of the creativity part.
Right.
The online multiplayer is a nice surprise, and I do think I will get more run out of that than I did Mario Maker 1. So I think I'm going to stick with it, but I got to admit, if I was paying a full $60 for it, I'd probably move my pre-order somewhere else, but I'm not. So I think I'm going to keep it. So that's my piece on Super Mario Maker 2. What did you guys think?
I'm disappointed no amiibo, but I'm not like taking it as hard as you are. Poor guy.
Yep. I'm just a little upset, a little jaded.
I'm interested. I don't know if I'll pick it up day one, but I do have the Gamers Club, so I might pick it up day one. I'm not sure.
I used the Gamers Club discount and a $15 coupon on this like 8 weeks ago. You know,
wow.
So, so I'm getting it for like $30. So that reason I'm probably just going to keep it. But at the same time, like I'm just a little upset. The story mode and the online helps.
Yeah, I'm not super invested. So the amiibo, I don't really care about. Plus, I only own 2 of them anyways.
Sure.
So it really wouldn't help me.
A lot of people, because this has been something that's been trending for a while, and a lot of people were thinking maybe that they would replace the amiibo with playable characters. So I guess if I'm holding out hope, maybe you can buy the skins, but they didn't show any new like characters outside of Mario, Luigi, and Toads.
Yeah, there was a way to unlock the characters, though, if you didn't have the respective amiibo.
You could play the game and unlock them, and you could do that. So, like, maybe there's still hope. Maybe they'll sell them to us. I don't think so. I think it's a licensing thing, and I think that's why they weren't in the 3DS version, too. I see. I'm not taking it, like it's something that they just don't want to do. I think it's a money thing.
Would it... But, I mean, they own everything, so why would it be a license?
Well, not the things like the Mega Man Capcom ones.
Oh, gotcha.
There were a lot of Mega Man levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I was hoping that, playable characters, I mean, I think all the Mushroom Kingdom folks make sense, but, the Nintendo Maker, if you will, was a lot of fun. I love those Splatoon levels and stuff like that. They were great.
Oh, I know. Splatoon was great.
And when you could get in the car, like all the racing levels that you could do and stuff, that was so good. It was super fun. One thing to note before we move on past Super Mario Maker was the stylus. That is a pre-order bonus in the UK and Japan. Was not shown or talked about here. So I know a lot of people on Twitter brought that up and they were hoping to see it. The only thing I can say, as I said in our Discord, capacitive styluses suck. If you've never used one on a tablet, like it's not good. It's not going to be as better than your finger. Like it's awful. It's not going to be like Wii U and 3DS. It's not. It's not as good.
The only advantage that a capacitive stylus has is your hand doesn't get in the way as much if you're trying to look at the screen. But other than that, they're not that great.
It's not that good.
Did they? I know with the online you can share games or your levels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did they mention anything about the app, like with Smash Brothers, where you can browse?
Nope.
That's very surprising.
They didn't talk about the browser. I feel like they didn't talk about anything that could be considered a negative, which is good marketing, don't get me wrong. But they didn't address any of the questions that people had. They didn't talk about Amiibo. They didn't talk about sharing. They didn't talk about anything.
That's because they're going to spend 15 minutes at the E3 Direct talking about more stuff.
How you can use the app. They're going to actually go and download 4 or 5 things so you can see it. I think that would be a Treehouse thing. But before we move on, I agree with you, Jared. I think Mario Maker shows up in the Direct, and I think they give us a little something that they haven't given us yet. I think it'll be short, just like you do, and maybe that's it. Maybe they talk about how you can use your phone to do something or something like that, and then they instruct you to check out Treehouse later. Treehouse is good. And how many levels? What's the over/under on levels they make live on Treehouse just to eat up time? Like 10? We're gonna watch them make like 10 levels that you can download when you buy the game. Like,
I just hope that they play some. That's all we need.
The only way I would watch that is if they actually had like professional level makers from Nintendo doing it, and not just the Treehouse people.
Right.
Now they did announce the Invitational, and the last time they did this, they had the Nintendo World Championship courses that were included in games. So I'm hoping that I imagine that they'll do that again, right? They'll have Miyamoto or somebody make a level that they have people beat, and then that'll be in the game when you buy it. So that'll be fun. You guys ready to get on with the rest of our E3 show?
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to talk about the games that we think, the games that we already know about for 2019, and then whether or not we think they'll be in the Nintendo Direct. So kind of keeping in order in terms of release schedule, or at least what we think about. The next one up, Wolfenstein Youngblood. Comes out June 29th. This is a big third-party release for the Nintendo Switch. It comes out day and date with other consoles. Do you think it'll be at E3? And do you have any interest, Caroline?
No and no.
That's what I thought. Jared?
No and no.
And I have a lot of interest in the game. Not on Switch. Moving on. Dragon Quest Builders 2.
Hype.
So many people are ready for this game.
People are ready for this. Do you think it's in the Direct?
No.
Ooh.
I mean, it could be like if they do like another
sizzle
montage.
reel.
Yeah, right at the beginning they show a bunch of games. I could see it having like 10 seconds. Like,
yeah, if they do, it will be very, very quick because this game's been out in Japan. I think the people that are wanting it already know about it.
Okay. Donnie hype. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 comes out July 19th, and I will kick off and say that this will absolutely be in the Direct, and it'll get a significant amount of time.
No and no.
I am super excited about this. Anything Marvel, I'm in. I think it will be in the Direct. I don't know how much time. I'm thinking just a trailer, maybe like some special extra costumes, but I wouldn't say a significant amount of time.
I would imagine that there's a character we don't know that's in the game that they'll announce is in the game. And I don't know who that could be, but I imagine they're going to have some secrets, or they'll announce DLC, or they're going to have something that we don't know about it yet to show it. Because the reason that I say that, and this kind of plays into a question we've got later on, we don't have a whole lot of third-party announcements for Nintendo Switch. Not that this is, but this has that kind of appeal. It's a blue ocean, a wider audience appeal for the Switch, and it is also piggybacking off of Endgame and this huge rise that Marvel is going on right now. They have got to capitalize on it. Like, if you're going to pay for this type of exclusive, you got to give it every piece of marketing attention you can. I look at it like this is like, their version of Sony with Spider-Man, if you will. Like, they've got to get it out there. So I'd imagine, I wouldn't be surprised if I opened the show, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think they'll give it some sort of, they're going to give you one last pitch to let you know that it's coming and that you should buy it. So
Yeah, definitely a big name. I mean, besides the fact that it's just Marvel, it's the third game in a series that a lot of people like. So
yeah, has history is built in. There are a lot of people, even just in our own Discord, there are a lot of people that have a Switch, maybe don't play it all the time, or don't have a Switch that went, I really want to play that game. And Nintendo doesn't have a lot of those games. You know, they don't have Madden, they don't have Call of Duty. Like, this is one of them, and they better try to make it count.
yeah.
Fire Emblem Three Houses, which, by the way, we're not going to cover all the details because I couldn't possibly try to, because I read the article, I had no idea what I was reading.
Know.
There is
I
a
know.
bajillion details about this game and classes and crests and all kinds of stuff that I don't care to know about.
Famitsu apparently dropped like a bunch of stuff.
Oh, so much. So
Yeah.
it'll be at E3 and it'll be in the Direct, right? And
Yes.
we'll get some sort of new thing, maybe a story trailer this time, I hope. Not like a whole,
Something.
you know, like that narrative, like the Fire Emblem Direct that we got, like I thought was too informational. I don't want informational. Like give me
Sure,
a
I
couple
understand that.
cutscenes and give me the lay of the land. You know, I don't care about all this different stuff, you know. We're different Fire Emblem players, you and I, Carol. Like you
I know
get
we
into
are.
all the
I know
classes
you.
and all the relationships and everything. I'm like, I need to beat that army. So
That's a boy thing. That's a boy thing.
you give me my army, and I need to beat that army.
I
And
treat
that's
it like a JRPG.
Yeah,
so.
I don't. Like, do you want to do such and such? No. I just click next,
Yeah.
next. Jared,
I
you
gotta pair off all of my characters to get all of the children and reap all of the benefits.
I've never done any of that. Jared, are
God
you,
bless you.
getting Fire Emblem?
I am interested.
Ooh.
The only one that I've played is the mobile one,
Then you don't know what you're missing, or you have no idea what you're missing.
which is why I'm interested. It looks interesting, but we'll see. I'll have to wait till closer to the release and see everything about it.
You know, the Famitsu article, just to maybe appeal to the Kevin Austins of the world, had some really nice screenshots and screens that I haven't seen before that do look like you're commanding more battalions and stuff like we originally saw that we didn't see in that Direct, if you remember. So
But
that was
I
pretty
like-
interesting.
I like the strategy type gameplay. But that interests me. The whole JRPG relationship part of it, I don't know. But
You don't even have to do it.
to
You
do
don't
that.
have to do
You
it.
don't have
Yeah.
to. It's very strategy RPG.
It's
though.
like Pokemon
Turn-based.
and like shiny hunting and breeding. You don't have to do any of that to play Pokemon. You don't do any of that to play Fire Emblem.
Why are you crapping on everything that I do today?
I'm not crapping on it. I'm saying you
I
don't
know.
have to do
You're
it.
throwing shade, though.
It doesn't have to be done. Doesn't have to be done.
yeah, if I get it, it'll probably be later in the year, if not early next year, because with Dragon Quest Builders and Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion and Link's Awakening, it's gonna keep getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And if I do buy it day one, I'm not touching it for a while.
I see.
Okay.
Fair enough.
The next one, Astral Chain, which got a new box art today, by the way, if you haven't
I
seen it.
saw that.
Yes.
We're definitely going to see more of this game.
For sure.
For sure.
Yep.
Especially if this has a date. Yeah, August 30th. We're getting more information.
I mean, it's Platinum Games. Again, it's another one of their like little exclusive partnerships. They got to do it.
I want them to sell me on this because what I saw I really liked. And I just want to be like, okay, day one purchase. I know that Platinum Games probably wouldn't steer me wrong.
It's gonna be like a story. It's gonna be a story trailer with like a light, brisk, like hack and slash RPG type thing, right? I mean, that's what Platinum does. So I imagine that this is what that is. Anything else to add, Jared?
No, it looks fun. I can't say much
looks dope.
other than that. I mean, it looks like a fun time.
It looks dope.
And if you think we're racing, it's because we are. We're trying to get into the big hitters. So Caroline, Animal Crossing's coming this year.
Canceled.
You sound just like my dad. You sound just like my dad. Oh my God. My dad makes the joke every year. Like at first it bothered us when we were children, but then he's like, we're going to have to cancel Christmas. You'd always do that crap. Yes, I think that it's coming in September. It's a perfect slated time. We've got Luigi's Mansion would be perfect for October. And we know Pokemon isn't probably a November title. That gives you plenty of time for Christmas and all that stuff. I believe this is coming in September. I believe this is the flagship for the E3. They're going to come in riding in with a little Isabelle flag. And this is my game. That's That's all. This
What
fun
do you,
game.
before we get to Jared, what do you want Animal Crossing Switch to be? What are you hoping to see?
I'm hoping to see everything from New Leaf with some improvements. I do like the campsite thing. I just didn't go back into my town when Welcome Amiibo came out. I was also thinking about it. Stardew had a very interesting element when they moved things or they added more things. It would be neat to have your town, if you're sitting on a bus or on the train coming into town and you're talking to Rover and he's like, so where are you going? And you get to pick the mountains, or I want to be going to the beach, or you get to pick your area, forest, whatever. And you can move to those other areas. I think being able to pick your location would be an interesting mechanic.
So like Animal Crossing region, not city or town.
Sure, but you could go to other regions
Sure.
and maybe like that would incentivize you to go to your other friends' towns if they have a beach instead of the mountains or something. I think that having that sort of different layout to just not the same, every town's got a beach, every town's got 2 layers, every town's got a river type thing. I think it would be a nice breath of fresh air.
Okay.
But I haven't really thought about it. I'm just going to be happy to have an Animal Crossing game
Happy
again.
for whatever they show you. Is there
Yes.
anything that you're hoping to see, want to see from the Nintendo Switch Online app or Animal Crossing Pocket Camp?
Oh my gosh.
Do you want me to come back to you?
The only thing I would be interested in, I like the gardening in Pocket Camp. I liked the growing flowers in actual flower boxes instead of just willy-nilly planting flowers throughout the town. I think if they had a designated garden area to the game, that would be interesting. I would like that. And for people like me, going off on, crazy limbs with my shiny hunting and breeding and stuff, I like to breed the flowers too, right? I like to crossbreed all of these flowers and get blue roses or gold roses. I'm just one of those people that likes to find all of the cross pollinations and stuff. So I think in that regard, I would enjoy something like that. But other than that, I can't see myself being inclined to, there's just nothing from Pocket Camp that really resonated with me that I feel would need to be included in a main game.
Jared.
I'm excited for this one. I like a nice chill kind of like no goals, or there's no timer or energy or anything kind of forcing you to manage your time. I like being able to just walk around and do stuff. I would like more town customization. Like when you first select, I'd like the different areas, like Kara was mentioning with the mountains and the beach and whatever, just like more versatile areas and biomes.
Biomes, good word.
But I think I would like, once you select your area, that you can kind of customize it right off the bat. Like, oh, this is the town you're going to. You can select where you want
The shops and the homes and things.
Yeah, the
Nice.
homes and shops that are already there. Kind of place them where you want.
Sure.
Because I'm really picky about that stuff, and I'm the type of person that when I play like SimCity, I
Yeah.
would destroy stuff.
I
before
understand
can
completely.
Move it and place it where I want.
I like that idea.
So I would like that. Or even if everything was just completely separate, where my town was my town, and all the shops and stuff were in completely different areas that I didn't have to
Ooh.
worry about.
Okay. That's kind of how they did it with New Leaf. They had a strip.
Yeah, but even then, they kind of were just like, "Oh, we're gonna randomly place a house right here where you put a lot of work into."
I understand.
Just
Yeah.
destroy everything
I think
you put there.
I think a lot of people have been asking for that because I know I definitely landscape to hell and back. By the way, I want actual tiles for walking on now instead of making
Making your own.
a QR code
Yeah.
of little pixel things and putting a pattern down. We need paths. We need paths so bad.
And I would like, I lost my train of thought. I would like them to make a bigger area. I mean, I feel like on Switch it would just automatically be bigger
Sure.
town than New Leaf, but I would also like it to get rid of that rolling log thing. I just want it to just be an open area that
I
you
see.
just move your character throughout, and it like the world doesn't roll and do that weird thing. It was kind of weird to me. I understand for the 3DS, like it worked and it made sense, but I want a more traditional kind of top-down 3D movement.
Okay. I want no load screens. That's really what I want. I don't want to load every time I go into town and every time I go to the island and every time I go to the campsite and every time I go. I don't want that anymore. I don't want to do that. Every time I walk into a shop, I don't want that like cut off thing. I want just to be able to move freely.
Seamlessly moving in between areas.
Yep. I want that and everything else you guys said, and I want to be able to.
I want everything.
I want to be able to co-op or more than co-op. Like I want to be able to. It'd be cool if PSVG could have a village together.
Yes, that would be awesome. We can't have losers coming in there and digging nonsensical holes, though. Like, if you mess up my landscaping, I will kick you out of the group.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I think it'd be cool if we could co-op something together online. Not just visit each other's town, but cooperatively raise a town together.
That would be awesome.
Kind
of like Minecraft, where you have like a server.
Yep.
And it's like, here's the code.
Exactly.
Everybody can just jump in and do
It'd be
stuff.
a lot of fun. And it'd be a lot of fun if you could, like, things you do in your town, you could bring with you to, like, the group town.
You're branching into some MMO stuff with that. Like,
and Animal Crossing is really good for that.
It really is.
It really is good for that, because people will live there and do that for years.
Years. That's the thing.
Animal Crossing, Maple Story.
Yes.
Mathman says, should the fishing lure go away or toward the character when fishing in the ocean? Asking the tough questions.
Go away or towards the character? What are we talking about, Mathman?
So Animal Crossing is definitely going to be at the Direct. It's the game we know is coming. It seems to be their big title of the year. I wouldn't be surprised, and I imagine that their entire E3 show floor is built around Animal Crossing City. So we're going to see all the kiosks and everything set up like little villages and
little houses. Can I get like last minute tickets right now? Assuming that's the case.
Yeah, that'll
please.
Just talk to Brian. So, but yeah, that's
I'm going to tell him you said that.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to be very expensive. But yeah, I'm sure you can make it happen. Sean will be there. So hats off to Sean Capri.
That's right. Dang it.
The next game up is Luigi's Mansion 3, which we know is coming. Another one of those games that we know is on the way. We don't know a whole lot about it. So it'll definitely should be in the Direct. Caroline thinks it's coming in October. I would agree with you. I don't see why it shouldn't be.
Halloween. Yeah, I obviously am going to get this game because I loved both of the installments in the series thus far, and I'm always down for more Luigi's Mansion. I want it to be more like the original game, though. I was not a fan of the multiple mansions. I just want to be able to explore one huge, gigantic mansion.
Gotcha. I honestly don't. I don't really care. I'm like, I don't have like desires or wants for Luigi's Mansion. I'm not that invested into the game franchise.
Yeah,
I can't talk over your typing.
Sorry.
And so like I didn't mind I like the original. I didn't mind Dark Moon, so I don't really care. I mean, I hope they show me something new. You know, like just show me something new and it be really pretty and cool and spooky. And I think I will enjoy it. So yeah, I'm open to anything for Luigi's Mansion. What about you, Jared?
Yeah, I like Luigi's Mansion. It's a good time. I would like also just kind of a big open mansion / hotel, whatever it ends up being.
Ooh, a haunted hotel.
kind of like a Metroid-esque thing where you have to
say
unlock.
like Resident Evil 2 size map where you just kind of keep going up and down stairs and in and out of rooms.
Yeah,
to unlock
and
the
you
other
have to
rooms, keep doing the thing.
Unlock pieces of it. You unlock this area to do this, to unlock this other area, and it'd be interesting if there were like branching paths where you could choose which part of it you wanted to unlock first, rather than just like a set path.
Ooh.
Craig says Luigi's Mansion 3 with the Shining DLC. I'm all about that. That's my stuff, man. That's my junk.
No, I'm not a horror person, so let's
take Luigi to a dark place. I think he's the one to do it. I'll be there with him. But yeah,
do the original Luigi's Mansion. I could not play the game at night. I was 11 years old when that game came out, and I couldn't play the game at night. It freaked me out.
The game is not scary at all. It's dark mode, the fishing game, is what Luigi's Mansion is.
Whatever.
Okay. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Caroline says, Pokemon Company will do their own thing. It's not in the Direct. I think it's in the Direct. I think it's in the Direct because it's the first one on the system, and it's a new iteration and a new generation.
I haven't thought about that being on the first. That's a good point. Yeah, I can see that. I'm all for it being in the direct. Sure. I just believe that based on previous years that Pokemon Company likes to do their own thing.
I agree.
So
I wouldn't be surprised if they did both. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little something from them, and then it was in the direct, and then we saw it on Treehouse.
I'm pretty sure that we got... That's what happened last year. We got a direct about Pokemon literally the last week of May or first week of June. Pokemon Quest, mentioned Pokemon Let's Go, and then we saw a little bit of Let's Go in the E3 direct, and then they played it at Treehouse. And I think that's doable.
I do feel, and maybe this is just me being not as connected or because we're so far away, I don't feel like the general buzz about Pokemon Sword and Shield that I normally feel when we have a new generation on the cusp. So
I think we need more information. I think once people start seeing the actual Pokemon coming out, then everybody's going to get hyped.
And that's why I think it's in the direct.
There was such hype about the starters, though. Like that starter wave ran for about a month. I'm still seeing fan art of Sobble.
That's exactly why I think it'll be in the direct, because I think they'll show us 6-9 new Pokemon and get people going, and they'll show it on Treehouse Live, and they'll talk about new ones, and they'll talk about new ones, and they'll get that engine going.
Show me the legendaries and show me the final evolutions of the starters. And you got me sold. I'm already sold, but you got me sold.
Yeah. And you know what? I was thinking about it. I mean, I'm starting to feel that itch. I'm ready for a big new Pokemon game. Yeah.
Yes.
Jared, you a Pokemon fan?
Yeah, I'm already sold. I don't really need to see much, but I think if they do show it, they just need to focus on what's new. Because right now we've seen it, and it's like, oh, it just looks like...
And it looks like a lot of what we think.
It looks like an evolution of Let's Go, which a lot of people were kind of disappointed in. I was never expecting like a big revolutionary jump. Maybe that's next year. But I think they just need to focus on what's new. Like, are the areas bigger? Are they more open? You know, what's changed in this version on top of the staples that are already there?
I'm all about more quality of life improvements, more system sharing, more Pokemon Go integration, more all that stuff. Just give me more of that.
The thing I hated most about Let's Go was there's like 12 buttons on a controller, and they're like, let's use 3.
I understand. I got annoyed with it too.
Let's use them in multiple ways, and it's like all of these menus that I have to press A 4 times to get through could all be tied to one button. And I could just grab it super quick. So I hope they do stuff like that.
I think Let's Go and the Pokeball thing will definitely be its own offshoot of games. It's going to be their own Pokemon Rumble or Pokemon
I'm not sure
Quest
we'll
series.
See any more of them, to be honest with you.
Really? Yeah. I think it'll be every couple of years we'll get the remake of Johto and Hoenn and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, they haven't really mentioned the Pokeball with this at all, and I was imagining that they would have like some sort of control mode or something for it to have the peripheral included, and I don't see that at all. So I wanted to say I'm really hoping for like a story trailer. The thing that let me down with Pokemon Let's Go was it just wasn't Sun and Moon, and Sun and Moon had a great story for Pokemon trainers.
Really
and
did.
I want to get back to having story, because Pokemon Yellow is not really a story. The story is you going to get the badge. That's about it. There's nothing else there.
Yeah,
I accomplished so much as a 10-year-old. Oh my god!
I think the Pokeball Plus probably won't have any integration, because unless you're catching Pokemon with the gyro,
correct,
there's really no reason to use it with its to 2 buttons and motion control.
Now, I think that the mechanic of putting your Pokemon in the Pokeball and taking it for a walk is still up in the air as being included in this game.
Like a set, like being able to train on as you go type of thing. Yeah.
That could be, but I'd rather just
give us some experience. I liked carrying my Mew around and getting it leveled up.
It's cool.
I'd rather just being able to put it in like the Pokemon Go app instead of having to carry around another device.
Ah, man, this new app, Pokemon.
Yeah, I knew you were
Pass.
That. Yeah,
I'm telling you, that's what they're going to be using for Bank and everything. I'm sure.
I told you that about Bank a long time ago. They're going to just turn it, like, I think they just build it into Pokemon Go and you just keep unifying the platform. But
not Go. It's this new app called Pokemon Pass.
I know. All right, so it'll be in the E3. We'll learn about it. And Carolyn, you say November. So you filled in all these to-be-determined dates. So you think we go Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
That's my story.
I agree.
The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. If you've
Number
forgotten, we're getting a new Zelda game this year. Like, that's still happening.
Number one game this year.
Caroline, you
Game of
think
the
it's... You have... Now, I want to say, so you have this fall, but you also have winter. Why do you have winter 29? You think it's December?
Fall/winter, because it could be like end of December. They consider winter. It's weird. They consider winter like just
February.
the whole month of December.
They go all the way out to like the...
I just prefer quarters. I think Animal Crossing is a Q3, and then Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon, and Link's Awakening are all Q4. Boom, boom, boom.
I wouldn't be surprised if they drop Pokemon
month.
and Zelda on the same day, and they drop them both.
God, no. That's
Interesting
a huge
thing,
mistake.
for the last couple years, they've been putting like a big fall game past Black Friday, where I used to always pencil them in before.
That's just it. Smash came out on December 7th.
Right.
So I think like a Link's Awakening will definitely come around that time, a
And I would
couple
agree
weeks
with
before
you.
Christmas.
I think Pokemon comes out right before Black Friday. You get that first initial rollout, and then you get the Black Friday rush, and then you do Link's Awakening after Black Friday. I would agree with that.
Yep.
Early December.
Okay.
What I want from Link's Awakening, which I don't know if we'll get, but I would like the graphic style, everything about it I love, and I can't wait for it. But I would love for them to include like the original version of it in with it.
It was like a little ROM.
Ooh.
Yeah, just like you can play the new style, and if you want to go back, you can play the original version too.
Cool.
Nintendo
Or
on Switch Online.
Elements similar to Odyssey, where you go into certain areas and it turns it back into that old Game Boy style, like 8-bit Mario.
Yeah, I don't know, like not like a live like switching back and forth. But,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Just
on your
including the
start
game
menu,
itself.
You've got the new version, and then you've got the original version. Just for those who haven't experienced it, if they want to, it'd be cool to be able to go back and play through them both and compare it.
Sure. Or that's a unlockable thing for beating the game.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 11 is still coming. That's a big game.
Yeah, it is. Lots of people are very
Switch's
excited about
got
it.
its own thing, and I'm getting this game.
DQ11 has already been out though, so I feel like we might get a date at E3, but that's about it.
It'll get dated. I expect it to be in the Direct, and I think it'll get dated. I think a lot of these games will be in the Direct, and they'll all get dates, and we'll have a nice little lineup of things. And then before we get on, we'll go ahead and mention this Doom Eternal. That's another third-party game that comes day and date with the other consoles, and there are not many of those around. So I'd expect it to be there, especially as well as Doom did on Switch, and Doom Eternal looks dope. I'm not getting it on Switch, but I'm going to get the game. Game looks amazing, and they have a shotgun with a grappling hook. I mean, need I say more?
that's awesome.
Freaking, the game looks great. So both those games are coming, and I expect them to be in the Direct. We just talked about like a dozen games. So I want to, before we start talking about what we don't want to have happen and get into our predictions in E3, I just want to say that this E3 is packed. It's packed full of stuff we already know about, let alone things we don't know about. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's absolutely packed. So I'm just a little, and I think my predictions will kind of echo this. I'm a little hesitant to go on like too big on the surprise end. I don't think we're going to get a bunch of big surprises that blow us away and stuff. And I actually wanted to say, I think that makes sense because they save like the Animal Crossing reveal, right? The Luigi's Mansion reveal. You save those for the directs throughout the year to tease, and then let E3 be the day where you give dates and info and get people going and pre-ordering and getting things going. So I think it makes sense. But if you're going into this going, I can't wait to see the 10 new games Nintendo's going to announce, it ain't going to be there because they got a lot to talk about already. So, if you're out there, if you're watching YouTubers and they're like Metroid and Star Fox and calm down. Let's come back to earth a little bit. So let's write it in. Before we get into our predictions, we listed some games together of games we don't think are going to be at E3, and we'll run them through. So, Caroline, what games would you think won't be at E3?
Metroid Prime 4 is just getting remade from whatever it was
I don't
already.
even think they even have assets for that game made yet.
Probably not. We're not going to see Metroid.
You know what that game is right now? It's like drawings on boards of like things they want to do.
Storyboard. Yeah. We're not going to see Daemon X Machina this year. We saw it last year. We saw it a little bit at an end of a direct this past year, I think. And then they said, thanks for your input on the demo. We're going to go back to working on this, and we'll let you know more at a later time. I don't see this coming out in 2020 at all, or 2019 at all.
So I'm going to disagree with you, and I was with you because I think that's what they need to do with this game, but I was with you until this past week. Marvelous did a whole annual briefing, and they still have this game listed for 2019. It's like 2 days old. Like, it just happened.
They are up against some hefty competition.
I'm really in on this game. We've talked about it ever since the demo. Like, I like Daemon X Machina. I want Gundam game. It looks awesome, but I don't think this game can hold up in a like we just talked about, what, a dozen games that are going to be big and long and very expensive. If Daemon X Machina is a $60 game, it's going to struggle hard.
It would benefit them to push it until like February, I think.
If the demo that we played is what that game is going to be, it needs to be like $29.99 at most. It can't be 60. If it's 60, it's going to get just rush-shod.
Yeah, I didn't super enjoy the demo. And the Nintendo financials still says summer 2019.
It's coming.
So
wow,
it either gets delayed, or they kind of just shove it in July.
They just let it go and let whatever happens happens.
Yeah.
I'm open to getting it not at 60, and I said that since the demo. Unless there's something we don't know about, like some big story mode or whatnot.
Like a story mode,
right?
Yeah.
If it's like go in here and destroy the robot in this little bitty city thing, I'm not paying $60 for that. But I like what it is. I like the animation stuff. It's good. So
yeah, I think they just need to like crank up the speed by like 2 or 3. Just make it a little bit more fun to fly around, because after playing Anthem, it's kind of like,
that's true.
I just feel like a tank in the air. I don't want to feel like a tank in the air. I want to feel like a flying combat machine.
And we talked to Kevin about this. That speed is in there. It's in there. You have to do all the upgrades and everything to get there. And I think that's what they were hoping people were going to do. But your point is valid. In a post-Anthem world, that game is going to get reviewed and trashed if you've got to like spend a lot of time before you can get doing the things you want to do. Because Anthem lets you be Iron Man immediately.
And I think the biggest thing, and I don't mind upgrades. Like, that's good to hear. The problem was I wasn't intrigued enough to continue on and try to get those upgrades. It was kind of like, this is all right. And I think a big thing is the sense of scale. The areas you're in are they're unnecessarily big, and so it just feels like you're moving at a slow crawl through the air, because it's just a bunch of big empty areas, and you're just like, okay, I gotta fly to that dot, and it's gonna take me 3 minutes to get over there.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's all I have to say. It's either delayed or it comes out July.
I think I would prefer a delay. I just, there's no room for it.
Yeah, I think
there's no room for it right now. The air has been sucked out. It needed to have arrived already.
Mm-hmm. My last one on the list is Rune Factory 5. As much as I want this game to come out, I don't see anything about this game happening at all. They actually did mention that it is gumming at least April 2020, and I don't even think we get anything. That's in Japan. It's not even the localization.
Yeah,
so
there's no reason to show it.
Yep.
Okay, so Jared and I have a couple of the same ones, so we'll cover those together. But I want to go ahead and say that Shin Megami Tensei 5 will not be in the Direct. I think it will be coming out next year. It's a big exclusive for the Switch, and I think it's something they're going to put a lot of time behind. I just don't think it's ready, and I don't think it's going to be there. I don't think Town is going to be there. I know a lot of people on Twitter sharing screenshots like, remember this game? There's no space for it. You're going to hear this a lot. Like, there is no space for a game like that in this calendar. It would get crushed. What are you going to do? Release it with Luigi? Nobody's going to buy that game. So I don't think
I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
That's you. You and 12 other people. Everybody else can buy Luigi.
It's Game Freak.
It looks intriguing to me, especially since it's Game Freak. I'd like to see them do something more than just Pokemon. But in the Nintendo financials, they didn't even talk about it. It's nowhere on the list. So
I do think it's not even coming this year. But that doesn't mean I don't want to see it at E3.
Next spring or something. Maybe it's a Treehouse Live or something. But
if we see it this year, it'll probably be in like the September Direct. Slated for like early 2020.
Good point. We still have more directs coming for the end of the year. So they don't have to show us everything coming next year because they've got other time to do that. Jared and I both have Metroid Prime 4, like Caroline, and we both have Bayonetta 3. So Platinum has Astro Chain, which means they can't there's not enough room for Astral Chain and Bayonetta 3 and all these other games, so I just don't think Bayonetta 3 is coming at all.
I just want a mention of it. I just want to mention, hey, we're still working on it.
And you might get that. They might do that during Astral Chain. But if you didn't hear, they had this whole investors meeting as well, as all these companies are doing. And they said that they're going back to the drawing board, not like restarting on Bayonetta, but they said that Bayonetta 3 is like a new philosophy on how they're building games. So it seems like they've changed their process, and Bayonetta 3 is the first, output of this new process. So I expect it to take some time.
Okay.
Anything else, Jared?
Metroid Prime Trilogy. I know it's not anything that's confirmed, but there are lots of rumors and everybody wants it, but I don't think it's going to be there. It's not going to come out.
I know Donnie over here for both of us.
Predictions to come later.
In just a minute. We got questions first.
We do have questions. All right, so Nick asks, what third-party games are you hoping to see at E3? And I'm presuming he means on Switch.
Well, we want to... Okay, never mind. I'm just going to cover mine in our round robin in a minute.
Okay. I mean,
that kind of gets into my predictions.
Okay. I'm hoping to see something from Madden and Call of Duty and maybe... I know a big rumor that everybody's going around is Apex. I question whether Apex can run. I get it makes sense. Like any of the free-to-play Battle Royale stuff seems to be hot on Switch. But... like, the Switch has sold almost 40 million units. Like, if you're going to get something like, 2K's on it, like, for the love of God, put Madden on Switch already, right? Bring the wrestling series back that actually runs good. Like, actually try hard, folks. Like, put third-party games on it. I'm really surprised we don't have a Call of Duty game. And I don't know what that means. Like, do they do, like, a blackout mode just for Switch? Do they actually put a Call of Duty on Switch? Do they port an old Call of Duty to Switch? But, like, getting some representation from EA and from some of these other third parties that haven't jumped on boat yet, like I would hope to see. So yeah, I am hoping to see something for Switch E3. Does that mean it's going to be the Nintendo Direct? No. It could be at the EA Play and I'm sure Ubisoft will have things to show and things like that. So, but yes, I am hoping to see third parties announce at E3.
I have some predictions later on, but for third party games, what I would really like to see is just... like, I don't want there to be a bunch of fanfare that something is coming to Switch, like they're doing us a favor.
Yeah.
Like, I just want it, this game's coming out for all the consoles.
All the consoles, exactly. Yeah. That'd be good.
There's always, like, this huge, like, and also coming to Switch. Or, like, I just want it to just be like, yeah, of course it's
just
coming to
the
Switch.
norm. It needs to become the norm.
So... my thing with Switch that I've always been wondering is, and I feel bad saying this coming off of the Saints Row situation that we'll talk about next week, but I keep thinking like there's franchises out there, third-party franchises that I think make sense for Switch, and it doesn't have to be the new Assassin's Creed, but like, why isn't XCOM on Switch? Mm-hmm. Why isn't
after the success of Mario Rabbids? Seriously,
why isn't Devil May Cry like the trilogy or the BioShock trilogy or a lot of the trilogies? Why don't we have an Arkham game? Like there are things out there that are around that aren't on Switch that I would love, even in a montage. A sizzle reel, just drop in a little like clip, like hey, that game that that's good, you can play it on Switch too. Like things like that would be great, because. Boy, does it look like the Switch is getting really close to Wii U third-party support right now. I mean, it is Nintendo and Indies and all Ubisoft game. Like, I can't even say Ubisoft, a Ubisoft game. Like
hey. Microsoft has given us Cuphead, and Microsoft is going to keep on giving. I'm pretty sure.
Well, Ubisoft is giving us like an 8-year-old Assassin's Creed. So
that's true. Jamie asks, do you think we'll see anything Metroid related at this year's E3? So my answer was, I hope so.
No.
But I don't want it to be the Metroid Prime trilogy. Shocking gas. Unless they HD it, which we've talked about.
That's what I was gonna say. I think the Metroid Prime trilogy HD remastered would be a great thing.
That'd be a great August game. It'd be such a good August game. I really want it to be, though. I want it to be Star Fox Grand Prix rumor that we've been hearing from Retro. Now, here's the thing. We know Retro is working on Metroid Prime. Retro hasn't done anything since Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. So what that means is that they either had something that was canceled or stopped, or they have something that eventually is supposed to come. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the big I mean, I just wouldn't be. I'm not predicting it. I just wouldn't be surprised if we saw Retro Studios logo and it's something. And
Yeah.
I think it would be cool if it was the Star Fox Grand Prix. But if it was a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD thing that they did or something like that, that would be sweet too. Like, you know, like when they pulled Retro into the studio and, you know, said you got Metroid Prime 4, maybe they put them on that. Like, hey, before you get started, let's give them something. I could see something like that, so I wouldn't be surprised. I also wouldn't mind, and then this is not my prediction, but I saw it on Twitter, I wouldn't mind if they brought Samus Returns to the Switch. They did that 3D, the 3DS game.
They need to do a big revamp on the graphics, though.
Well, I mean, so we've seen them, you know, up and down port things like Yoshi and things down to 3DS. I think they could bring up port Samus Returns to Switch.
Sure, I mean,
it'd look good enough.
It's like, what, a 480p game?
Right. So I would like it. I think it'd look really good.
I think Samus Returns is limited by the screen that it's on. I'm sure that the assets they created are pretty.
They could up-res it pretty decent.
Yeah,
I think so too. So,
but I think the only thing that we're going to be seeing at Metroid, other than the possible Samus Return port, is just fans crying that there's no Metroid at E3.
No Metroid.
Why have you forsaken us, Nintendo? Why?
Julie wants to ask, do you think we'll see anything new about Labo, or is Labo dead? What do you think, Jared?
Sorry,
Jared.
go ahead.
I don't think we will see anything at E3 about Labo, but I do not think it's dead. I just don't think this is the time or place to show anything about Labo.
Okay.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Oh my god, Labo's not dead. They just it's one of those offshoot things. They have their own way of announcing, and it's never been on E3. It's never been on the big screens and the directs and stuff.
I think some non-Labo game gets Labo VR something.
Cool.
But
I think they mentioned that.
I don't think they will mention that at E3, because if they spend any time on Labo, people are going to be like, why'd you waste that 30 seconds on the direct?
Sure. Okay.
And I think they know that. I think they know that Labo is a very different audience, which is why everything they've shown with Labo has been a tweet or just a random video on the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Caroline John wants to know, do you think Mario Kart Tour will be shown at E3? Do you think it'll release that day?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this game the other day. Didn't Android get a demo? Android's gotten the demo, right?
They're getting the exclusive beta.
Yeah, we got a sign-up sheet for the beta.
It's not out yet.
I think the beta may be getting a date, but we're not getting like an actual day and date full release across all iOS and Android.
I can see that happening. I'm down for that. Jared?
I don't think we'll see anything. They haven't shown anything mobile related at E3, have they?
Mm-mm.
I think everything has been separate.
Now, and to put it in perspective, when you say at E3, I'm assuming that means add a video during E3. It doesn't have to be in the direct. Could be that could be a Treehouse, like just at E3, like Nintendo's presence at E3. Do we get Mario Kart Tour news?
I don't think whether it's the direct or the Treehouse Live, they'll show anything.
Jared's no.
I think the demo might drop before E3, and then they'll come out with a release date sometime after. But I don't think it's going to be at E3 at all.
Makes sense. All right, we've made it. It only took us about an hour and 10 minutes, but we're here. Do we have any other hopes, dreams, predictions that you would like to make for Nintendo at E3? I'd like to start, because I've already said one, probably my only one, my crazy one, that I said on Empire this week. I don't think it's a coincidence that Cuphead is here. I don't think it's a coincidence that we have all these Xbox Nintendo rumors. And I don't think it's a coincidence that they're the only people at E3 this year. I think Nintendo and Xbox are cooking up something. I think we get Ori. I think it's announced. I think it's in the direct. I don't know if that means that Phil Spencer shows up in the direct or Nintendo shows up on the Xbox stage, but I would really like to see when Xbox talks about Project xCloud and their streaming platform. I want to see Doug Bowser walk out on the Xbox stage playing something on the Switch, and I would love for xCloud to be the Switch's new third-party avenue. I would love for third parties to finally arrive to Switch, even if you have to stream them. I don't care. I want to play some more games on my Switch outside of indies and Nintendo, and I think that makes the most sense right? I don't think Xbox is going to start putting Halo on. I don't think Xbox is going to start doing all this other stuff. I do think that xCloud makes the most sense for Switch as a device. I think Xbox wants that streaming platform to be everywhere. The crazy prediction that I shared on Shaq is, and I don't think this is going to happen, but if Microsoft gets a character in Smash, if that happens, I do think it's Banjo, and if that happens, then Rare Replay comes to Switch. So that would get a lot of Nintendo fans excited. Now, I said on Empire, if you didn't listen, I said on Empire that, and Nathan said it would have to be Master Chief, to which I responded, Nintendo fans would riot. They would burn copies of Smash Brothers. Like,
absolutely.
That would be the biggest mistake.
And Kevin would be the first one.
That'd be the biggest mistake that Xbox and Nintendo could ever make.
If it's going
stupidest idea.
If it's going to be Master Chief, they have to give us the Master Chief collection.
Yeah, and I don't think that.
And since they're not going to do that, it's not going to be Master Chief.
If that was to be true, if that crazy fan theory was to ever come, it would have to be Banjo because of the history and the legacy.
Yes.
It's going to be Cuphead.
In Smash?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
No.
Can I get a refund for my Smash Pass?
Okay. So I agree with Ori. I think Ori will be there. I could also see Rare Replay. I have both of those on my list. I don't know if it's at E3 though. Like, I would love to see either of them at E3,
okay,
but I could see them coming out in like a September Direct or early 2020 Direct, and then taking that April slot like Cuphead did.
Okay.
But I do think something from Microsoft will be there. I'm not sure. It could just be a Smash character, or they could be on Nintendo's Direct, or we could see Miyamoto at the Xbox conference.
I was going to say, because if for a lot of Shaq listeners may not know, but Jared is my streaming companion over on the Google Stadia show, and we are big into the streaming game things. Tell me how exciting it would be when Microsoft starts talking about streaming games, and Phil Spencer shows Forza on a phone if he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a Nintendo Switch and starts streaming something on it. Like, that's going to be an awesome moment, isn't it?
I would sell my PlayStation 4.
Like, it has to happen. Like, if you're going to sell streaming, that's how you do it. Like, that's a big way, right? And
yeah.
I think that's a big moment. It would be dumb for them to talk about it and not do that, I think. But all right, let's get on to other predictions. Let's get back in order. Caroline, go.
Y'all remember that Best Buy leak we had? That Best Buy leak where there was a Link to the Past and Metroid Prime Trilogy. Yeah, I want a Link to the Past to be a legitimate thing for the Switch. And we already talked about Metroid Prime Trilogy, so I want that as well.
In what capacity would Link to the Past show up?
We've kind of talked about this. I think it would be... Donnie thinks that it's the game that Monolith is working on, right?
Well, no, I don't think that. I was just postulating a theory. Okay. It could be.
There's
like
that
theory.
There's a rumor out there that Monolith Soft is working on a Zelda game, and I was wondering, like, if that leak could be some sort of tie into this Breath of the Wild take on A Link to the Past. Like, that was crazy fan theory. Yeah,
Breath of the Wild version of A Link to the Past. But I don't think Monolith would be doing it. I don't know.
I'm with you.
That would be a 2020 game, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think we see that at this E3.
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm always down for more Zelda.
Yeah, we're already in Link's Awakening.
But I feel like they wouldn't be putting focus on Link's Awakening if they had something Linked to the Past, which is a far more popular game.
Well, that's what a lot of people said when that like rumor came out, that leak came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm always down for more Zelda.
Me too. Jared?
I think that there will be 0 SNES games shown for Nintendo Switch Online. And the reason I say this is because I think they're going to save all of that for around September, when it's the 1-year anniversary, to try to get people to resubscribe. Like, hey, look, you're getting SNES games now. So I think they showed nothing at E3 in terms of SNES games on Nintendo Switch Online.
That was one of my it needs to happen, or one of my hopes.
My first prediction was SNES games come to Nintendo Switch Online.
Was it?
It was my first prediction.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. How they do it I think is up for debate. I would rather them do another app. That's what I would love to see. Like, so you have your NES app and then you have your SNES app, and I would love for them to keep going that way. I think it's been long enough. I think it needs to happen. But I agree with you. It could not be at E3, but
I don't think it'll be at E3.
Okay.
It'll definitely happen, just not at E3.
Okay. My prediction, because they do this every year. They did it with Hollow Knight, did it with Fortnite. Shovel Knight King of Cards and Castle Crashers are out right now.
I don't know if it's right now because there's Amiibo coming with that. And
that announcement comes. They give you a date for the Amiibo and they do that, but the game is out right now. Go play it. All you treasure trove people, it's out right now.
I still need to get that game.
That'd be nice. It's a great game.
Go, Carol.
I said Bayo 3. I know you guys don't think she'll be there, but I think that Bayo 3 at least needs some sort of, hey, we're still working on her awesome jiggle physics and stuff.
I would love to see what she looks like. Hopefully they go back to long hair. So
who knows? Maybe she has a bob like me.
There's just
fine.
So much they could potentially show.
Yeah.
Like to even spend any amount of time saying like, hey, like that could just be in a tweet. Like, hey, check out this concept art.
It could be from Platinum, not even from
That's just it. That's just it. This is just like a general what we want to see from Nintendo, but a lot of these
dreams,
are third-party
predictions,
for me. Yeah.
No shade.
DLC fighters. As I mentioned earlier, I think we'll get a shadow drop of one, which I think will be Banjo. And then we will get a reveal of one that's coming in a couple months, which will be Kazooie.
Ooh.
Oh, I see. No. I'm about to say they got to be the same.
No, I think Banjo and Kazooie will be the revealed one. The shadow drop, I have no idea who that's going to be, but I think there will be two characters shown, and one of them will be dropped very close to E3 because they're running out of time if they've got 4 more characters by February.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what Caroline said. She was saying 2 at E3.
2.
One dropped and one revealed. Okay. This doesn't have to be in Nintendo's Direct to come true. My friend Pedro and Crosscode are available now. So I think Crosscode might show up in the Xbox show.
Banana game, man.
I think Crosscode might show up in the Xbox show because it's coming to Xbox and Switch. And if you guys don't remember, that's the action RPG that has like tremendous reviews on Steam and PC. So I think it's going to be a big thing. And I think it could be in the indie sizzle reel in Nintendo. And then my friend Pedro, Devolver is doing their own show on Sunday. And that's a game that they showed last year that I'm highly anticipating. And what a better time to launch it than at E3. It's out now.
I'd be down for that. Both of those games look great.
I want WayForward to do something. They mentioned Shantae 5. I want to see some Shantae 5. I think it's just in development, but that's my girl. That's my girl. Donnie and I love us some Shantae.
That's true. I do love Shantae. I think it's too early for Ubisoft's next Switch exclusive. I think the launch lineup between now and the end of the year is packed. There's not enough room for them to squeeze in a Star Fox or a Rabbids game. But I think they show it to us. I think we have Mario Rabbids 2 announced exclusively for Switch spring 2020.
Okay.
Along those lines, I think they will show Mario and Rabbids 2 because Ubisoft just recently said that they have 4 AAA games slated for release by March of next year.
Mm-hmm.
One of them includes the new Ghost Recon.
Right.
So I think one of them will be a Switch exclusive, being Mario and Rabbids 2.
Yep. And I hope it has some awesome new like first-person shooter stuff. Like I took the survey and the ideas that they were coming up in that survey sounded awesome. So can't wait to see it. And it's going to be awesome.
Different characters, different playable characters and their Rabbids counterparts.
Different modes, yeah.
I would like to see them kind of revamp the traversal.
Yes, I think most people would.
That overworld,
hated it. It worked pretty well for what it was, but I'd like to just see something different.
I'd like to
I don't
just
want-
move the character instead of use the Roomba.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want like a direct sequel. I'd like them to change it up.
I'd rather not have any more of like those slide the block puzzles. I can live without that. They need
Yeah,
to get
the-
back to the action and the combat. That's what makes that game fun, not the Roomba
Yeah,
puzzles.
they were so easy. It was kind of like, what's the point?
I just feel like it's a weird. Normally, I like things that like shake up the formula, but that's like just off. It's just weird. It doesn't make
was
really
like-
any sense why they're there. It feels like filler.
Yeah, it was like those dumb science puzzles in Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
why am I doing this when I can be outside swinging and beating up people?
Exactly.
It's an indie, but it's only coming to PC and Switch. But I still want to see more of the Kitty Cat game in Echo's Night Market. I want to get a release date.
Okay.
Finally, please.
That
It was supposed
works.
to come out last year.
All right. Simon and Alucard came to Smash Brothers. Bloodstained drops this fall, or drops this summer. Just like we got a Mega Man game shortly after Mighty Number 9, I think there's a new Castlevania game in the mix.
Oh,
I
snap.
don't think we've seen it yet, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the E3 show or in Nintendo's E3 showcase. So I'm gonna say
Snap.
a new Castlevania game is announced. It's a 2D side scroller HD game.
Cool.
All right. I think we will get one surprise for 2020. I think it's going to be a tease of Pikmin 4 along with the Pikmin trilogy.
Nice. It's a good one. I thought about that one for a minute. I did.
Kevin would be excited.
Oh, Kevin would lose his mind.
I
Kevin
will
would
be
scream like Caro.
I want a release date for Rune Factory 4 Special for America because Japan is already getting theirs on July 25th. The localization has already been done for the 3DS, and I want the memory box bundle. Dang it. Bring it to the West, please.
Nice.
I want to drop $100 on that.
I agree that we get one more thing shown for 2020. Except I don't think it's Pikmin. I think it's an exclusive Monster Hunter game. And that's
Dang
the
it!
Switch.
Dang it, you took my next one. I can't wait. I can't wait. There is a rumor going around that there is a new Monster Hunter exclusive to Switch. So I want that to be shown.
Okay.
That would be
About.
great. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that there will be no Wii U ports, and the Pikmin trilogy doesn't count because that wasn't on Wii U. It'll be the Pikmin trilogy will be all three games
Sold as one.
HDified.
Ooh,
sold-
remade.
not remade, but just definitely higher quality. But there will be no direct Wii U ports.
Okay.
We won't see Super Mario 3D World. We won't see what is it? The Wonderful 101. Nothing. No Wii U ports.
I'm with you in the regards that what you've already alluded to, that they have other directs. I think those ports are better saved and not in E3. I think when you put in a port announcement at E3, you're opening yourself up for bad publicity.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a filler type thing, like we got in the beginning of January with Wii U Deluxe.
Yep.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I just want the Persona 5 port. I want it to be legit. That's all I want.
I do too, but it won't be. That was the end of my predictions. in
Yeah,
terms of the
that
ones
was my
I-
last one.
Jared, do you have any more?
I have a couple more. I
Okay.
think we'll have a third-party surprise in the vein of Overwatch.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if that will be at
Like that.
Nintendo. Well, I don't know why it would be anywhere
Yeah,
else.
why would it be?
Show up, but never mind. Yeah, if we get it, it'll be at Nintendo.
I think that
obviously.
makes more sense than Apex, and I know a lot of people are jumping on the Apex wagon.
Yeah, Apex could be likely. I don't know if it'll be at E3, but they've stated that they're bringing it to mobile phones.
Mobile,
so
yeah.
why not Switch? I'm just going to kind of power through these. I think port of Samus Returns from 3DS. I think Nintendo will continue along with the lines of the last few years. They will have a themed booth, but I think it will be half Animal Crossing and half Mario Maker 2. Be like a dual setup of both of those games.
Crazy.
Because I think those are their biggest games this year in terms of mass population.
Sure.
And then I think that we will have some unexpected DLC, either from Zelda or Odyssey.
Oh, okay. I like that. I would to piggyback off of that, I would prefer if it was Mario Kart. Mario Kart has sold so well on Switch.
Oh, yeah.
If they were going to DLC something, they've DLC'd tennis, and they've, like, it makes sense to DLC Mario Kart. Put a new pack in there, new courses, new battle modes, and, like, just keep people buying and playing that game.
I think it makes sense.
Or a new Mario Kart. I
want to jump back into Odyssey or Zelda with new content.
You got that Labo mode, man. You got to get in there.
No, I'm okay.
I don't have any more predictions, but I do have some things. So I did list out some indies to keep your eye on, and I did list out some third-party games that I think fit. I don't know if they're coming, but I think fit. Like I said, Madden, XCOM, Arkham. Think about something from Kingdom Hearts, that inevitable maybe Fallout remaster that everybody thinks, like Fallout 3 gets something or something like that. That could come Switch's way. Danganronpa. Like that game, like, I keep thinking of like all the Vita franchises that did well. Like they should start making their way and showing up on Switch. So keep your eyes out for that. The indies, dearly beloved, my lovable indie games: Deltarune, My Friend Pedro, The Red Lantern, Sayonara Wild Hearts, Soundfall, A Hat in Time, After Party, Crosscode, Killer Queen Black, Kentucky Route Zero, Terraria, Inmost, Moving Out, Dead by Daylight. All could have something shown, could have dates, could be an indie sizzle reel. And if you haven't heard about it, I talked about it on Empire. There's a game out there in the wild that's not anywhere close to coming that makes so much sense for Switch. It's called The Wild at Heart. It is a Pikmin game that is made in this beautiful little indie art style. And it looks incredible. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely be checking it. You should be YouTubing it and things like that. And it's gorgeous. So if you hear or see about that game, show up at one of these conferences. Don't be surprised and put it on your watch list. So those are some indie games. So that's all I had for E3. Do you guys have anything else?
I have one more pie in the sky.
One more thing. Reggie says.
So we talked about Ori and the Blind Forest. And realistically, I don't think it'll be at E3. I think that'll be more of a next year, early 2020 game. But what I really want is for them to announce Ori and the Blind Forest is coming to Switch, and Will of the Wisps is coming day and date with Xbox.
Nice.
On the Switch.
Yeah, I think
want both of those.
That makes a lot of sense. So I'd be.
I think that's what Donnie's been saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ori, whenever they announce it's available soon, that day, that week, and then Will of the Wisp gets announced for it sometime down the road.
Outside of Link's Awakening, Will of the Wisps is my most anticipated game.
I'm right there with you. We share a lot of similar games. The one thing I didn't say that a lot of people are saying is that out there, that Game Pass rumor. I just don't know how Game Pass works on Switch. A lot of the games that are in Game Pass aren't available on Switch, so I'm not sure if you just like can stream Game Pass games on Switch. I don't know what that means. So
it would be very broken and
weird because they would sell games on Switch, but you could stream them if you had Game Pass, but only through the app.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how that works, but it's out there. Yeah. A lot of people are saying
it would have to be like a specific Game Pass or Nintendo Switch Game Pass version because a lot of those games probably can't even run on Switch.
No.
They can't.
Can you imagine Sea of Thieves chugging?
Saints Row can't run on Switch.
Yeah. It would either be missing half of the games or it would do that streaming thing, and I just don't think it works. I really don't.
Yep. I'm with you. Okay. So that's it. That's our E3 2019 preview show and Mario Maker. Thank you for coming out and listening to the show. We hope you tell a friend, leave us a rating on iTunes if you can. Drop by the Discord, psvg.blog/Discord. Come chat with us. We'll be doing what we always do. We'll be live streaming. You want to hang out with some awesome friends, watch the show together. You have me and Caroline blowing up your speakers as the show announces. We make a day out of it. So at least on Nintendo Day, that Tuesday, we'll be there all day. So as Treehouse keeps going, you'll watch us eat lunch, hang out, maybe play 3DS. I'm sure we'll get in a round of Mario Golf and maybe Mario Kart. We'll just keep going all day long. So
all day.
Be sure you check in. Follow us on Twitter at ShackLife, and all the PSVG crew. We'll be doing Xbox. We'll be doing Devolver Digital. Like anybody that's having a show, hopefully we'll have somebody there on the PSVG Twitch channel, live streaming reactions, doing podcasts every day and all that. So we thank you for listening, and we will catch you next week, Kooplings.
Bye!
Bye.